and also the website of AKS IAS Academy. About me, I am Sandeep Bhushan and my credentials are I have 10 years of teaching experience for civil services. I teach international relations and internal security and also the analysis of the Hindu newspaper. And this session will certainly help you to crack prelims and mains examinations, because throughout my session I would be emphasizing on the keywords and the key phrases, wherein these keywords and the key phrases which I would be emphasizing would certainly help you for both prelims and mains examinations, because the keywords and the key phrases will certainly help you to identify the factual, analytical and conceptual questions for preliminary examination point of view, and also it will be useful for the mains examination, that is in regards to the answer writing. So certainly answer writing is a key for you all to score higher marks in the mains examination, and when you imbibe the keywords and the key phrases in your answer writing, certainly you will score higher marks, because that is what the UPSC is demanding from you, that the answer should be precise and concise, and that can take place only when you imbibe the keywords and the key phrases in your mains answer writing. So certainly this session will help you both for prelims as well as mains examinations for 2020 as well as 2021. And this is in regards to the daily news analysis, that is 19th September 2020. So my tagline goes ahead with emphasizing on the keywords and the key phrases. And we will look at the quote for the day. And the quote for the day or quote of the day is, excellence is not being the best. Excellence is doing your best. So there is a very thin line of difference in regards to what excellence is in the area what you are actually putting in your efforts, is that it is not being the best, it is doing your best. So even if you want to attain the success, do your best. So now we'll get into the topic. Before I get into the topic, I would say a very good morning to one and all, and good morning to the one who are in the live and also in the live chat. So we have been discussing this face-off or the skirmish between India and China along the LAC. Since the month of May we have been discussing, but we have seen the Defence Minister Mr. Rajnath Singh has also informed what is going ahead along the LAC between India and China in the Parliament. So the Defence Minister has informed the Rajsabha on September 17 that definitely the face-off with the People's Liberation Army or the Chinese troops is happening, or the face-off is going on, or the reason for the face-off is because the patrols were interrupted. So we will look at what is patrolling. Patrolling is that the Indian troops trying to have a vigilance over its own territory, and the same way the patrol from the People's Liberation Army, that is the Chinese troops, trying to have vigilance over its territory. So that is patrol. And when the patrols were interrupted by the PLA for or to the Indian soldiers or army, so thereby the face-off has started, and this is what is been informed by Defence Minister Rajnath Singh in Rajsabha, that is on September 17, 2020. And the Defence Minister has also made it very clear that there are 10 patrolling points along the line of actual control in eastern Ladakh which have been blocked by Chinese troops. So definitely it is the Indian troops which are into the patrolling, and there are 10 such patrolling points in the eastern Ladakh which have been blocked by Chinese troops, and once they are blocked or they have been interrupted, definitely the face-off has erupted between India and China along the LAC in the eastern Ladakh. And the patrolling points, when we are talking about, it is the end point along the undefined LAC. That means if suppose this is the LAC line and you have this LAC which is undefined, it is not a defined line of actual control. So when there is, the Indian troops are patrolling from the base camps. So the Indian troops which are patrolling, if suppose this is the base camp, and when they are patrolling from this point to the end point, this is the end point for example. So when they are patrolling this area, and then when they are objected or when they are blocked or interrupted at this point, that we are unable, that is Indian troops are unable to further extend to the end point. So thereby the face off has started between India and China along the LAC, and that 10 patrolling points which the Chinese troops have blocked are the patrolling point 9, 10, 11, 12, 12A, 13, 14, 15, 17 and 17A. So these are the patrolling points. Since April, the Chinese troops are blocking the Indian troops further getting into the end point or to the end point, and thereby Indians are denied access to reach the end point of the patrolling area. So this patrolling point is the keyword, and there are 10 patrolling points in eastern Ladakh. And before I get into the next slide, I would say a very good morning to Tejasri, Sweta Imani, D. Suvarna and Ram Kumar. Also a warm welcome to you all to AKS IAS Academy Daily News Analysis. And these blocked patrolling points, they actually start from Karakoram to Chumur. So the patrolling points are definitely in the eastern Ladakh area. There are 10 patrolling points which are being blocked by the Chinese troops, so that Indian troops are denied access to further move forward. Fine. So if you look at the patrolling points, there are 65 patrolling points right from Karakoram. So you have this Karakoram pass here. Please do understand this from geography map based. This will be important from geography map based. So from Karakoram to Chumur, this is the place Chumur. So from this place to this place, you have 65 patrolling points. And if you look at from Depsang Plain, Depsangla, so this is Depsang Plains. So you have a pass, and then you have this area called as Depsang Plains. And from Depsang Plains to the Pyongyang, so this is the Pyongyang Lake. So from Depsang to Pyongyang, the patrolling points what you have here have been blocked by the Chinese. Since almost April. Chinese troops, wherein Indian troops are further enabled to get into. So there are totally 65 patrolling points from Karakoram Pass or Karakoram till Chumur. And as reported by the Hindu, there are, it is totally 1000 square kilometers in the Ladakh area which is under the Chinese control. Please do understand, this is as per the report by the Hindu, that 1000 kilometers in the surface area in the Ladakh is under the control of Chinese, and they are been denying the Indian troops to further get into the patrolling or to patrol the further area. And out of this 1000 square kilometers, 900 square kilometers is itself in the Depsang Plain. So in the past also, in my previous classes also, I have explained the strategic importance or geostrategic importance of Depsang. Geostrategic importance of Depsang Plains I've told, because as it is a plain, the Chinese will definitely have the base there. They can go ahead with ammunition, and they can go ahead with all kinds of equipments which are needed for a warlike situation. And the Depsang Plain is very close to Daulat Beg Oldi, which is the army base, Indian army base. So they can try to have control over Indian army base, and it is very close to Karakoram Pass. So the Karakoram Pass is on the Indian side, not in the Aksai Chin region, but on the Indian side. So they can try to have access, a control over the Daulat Beg Oldie Army Base, Indian Army Base, and the Karakoram Pass. Not only that, and also you have a road called as Darbuk Shok Daulat Beg Oldie Road, which is of 255 kilometers from Leh, almost Leh. It is here, Darbuk here. So from here you have here till here Daulat Beg Oldie. So they can also have the control over the Darbuk Shok Daulat Beg Oldie Road. So that is why geostrategically Depsang Plain is very important. And as per the report of the Hindu, out of the 1000 square kilometers in the entire Ladakh, which is under the control of Chinese, 972 itself lies in the Depsang Plain. So that is how important geostrategically Depsang Plain is important for both the countries. And not only the patrolling points in Depsang, but also in the Pyeongyangso Lake also, Finger 4 to 8 is also a conflict zone wherein Chinese troops are denying access to the Indian troops. So this is how you need to focus for geography map based, and also a better understanding of strategic importance or geostrategic importance of Depsang Plain. So you have here Siachen Glacier, Spanger Lake, Pyeongyangso Lake, and also Chumur we have here, and then Demchuk, which is also part of our discussion. We have done it. Chuzul was part of our discussion, and then you have here further the Galwan Valley, Galwan Rear, or Shok River also. So please do understand from geography map based also, which will be very, very useful for you for prelims perspective UPSC point of view. And before I further move to the next news, Parimala Venki, I have also joined Madhu Harika Yadav. A warm welcome to you all to AKS IAS Academy Daily News Analysis. And now we'll get into the next topic. The Supreme Court says media should not target minorities. Who is saying this? The Supreme Court is saying that the media should not target minorities. So this we have discussed little bit yesterday also, that on two television channels, that is Sudarshan TV and Bindas Bowl, there is a plea or petition filed on these two television channels that they are definitely trying to attack a community, that is a Muslim community, in regards to that they are being, Muslims, few of the Muslims are being using the UPSC jihad. So these television channels were in news yesterday also, and we have discussed in regards to the Supreme Court wanting the state government to come up with or frame the guidelines, and then again the government asking the Supreme Court to frame the guidelines. This is what we have discussed yesterday. So the guidelines being asked by the government to the Supreme Court asking the government to frame the guidelines. So this was the news yesterday. So that was in regards to the digital media and mainstream media. We discussed this one, two keywords yesterday we discussed. And now the news is because the Supreme Court has sent a message to the media that it cannot make any religious minority as a target of its attack, because it is in regards to the dignity of the community is important, as you are also talking about journalistic freedom. So when you have a right to speech or right to speak and right to expression, so definitely it is a freedom of journalism or journalistic freedom. So when there is a journalistic freedom in the country, so definitely there is a dignity to a particular community, and in that regards, when there is a dignity to a particular community which is enshrined in the Indian Constitution or Indian community and the culture and history also, what the Supreme Court says to the media, it is sending a message to the media that they should not target any religious minority. This is a keyword, that they should not target any religious minority, as there is a dignity of community. This is a keyword, and then the journalistic freedom is a keyword. And the three-judge bench is been headed by the Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, and he made it very clear in sending a message to the media that yes, everyone is wanting a cohesive nation. That means they wanted a nation which is united, cohesive, together. And then it is also making it very clear, I mean the court is making it very clear to the media, sending a message that we want a cohesive nation and we are also worried about the national security. When we are worried about the national security, yes, we are also worried about protecting human dignity of the minorities also. The court makes it very clear that it wanted a cohesive nation, it is worried or concerned about the national security, and it is also equally concerned about protecting the human dignity of the minorities in India. Not only in regards to one particular minority or community, but it is really concerned about, equally concerned about protecting the human dignity of any minority community in India. And the court was actually hearing a plea in regards to pre-telecast ban. This is the keyword and this is the entire essence of our discussion, of our analysis, newspaper analysis in regards to this particular news. The core of what we are talking about is this keyword, pre-telecast ban. So there was a plea in the Supreme Court for pre-telecast ban on a program, as we discussed in regards to the Sudarshan TV and also the Bindas Bowl. But there was a plea on the Sudarshan TV in regards to the UPSC Jihad, that there was a telecast in the Sudarshan TV that few of the Muslims were being trained, or in regards to that they were being given some kind of help, financial help, so that they would get into the UPSC and then create a UPSC jihad. That is the plea which has been made by the community, wherein they say that pre-telecast ban has to be taken up on the Sudarshan TV. And what the court says, that is the 3-judge bench headed that by D.Y. Chandrachud, he says very clearly that a pre-telecast injection. Why I am saying is, this is a keyword I did say, a pre-telecast injection. Injunction in the sense it is an order. So a pre-telecast order cannot be taken up by the Supreme Court. That is what the bench is making it very clear. Why it cannot go ahead with pre-telecast injunction? Because the pre-telecast injunction is like a nuclear missile. And I would say that there would be a probable question in the mains also on the keyword, that is the pre-telecast ban. Please do understand, there could be a question in the mains on the pre-telecast ban. The question, the statement could have the keyword as pre-telecast ban on the programs, which would impact the dignity of a community, and it would also protect the journalistic freedom. Pre-telecast injunction is like a nuclear missile. That is what the Supreme Court is making it very clear. And the Supreme Court makes it very clear that the need for the Supreme Court to intervene shouldn't have been taken place, or it wouldn't have been taken place if the government, if the regulatory body had a mechanism for self-regulation. Please do understand. Here, this could be again another probable question for the mains, that the government, regulatory bodies should have a viable mechanism for self-regulation for journalistic freedom. If that is not there, and because it is, you do not have self-regulation, the court says the government, the regulatory bodies, as they do not have the self-regulation, that is why the Supreme Court is definitely in a mode to intervene because of the plea to ban or to go ahead with pre-telecast ban on programs on the television. And then Chandrachud also makes it very clear that they cannot go ahead with the pre-telecast ban as it is a nuclear missile, and they are very conscious about the pre-publication and pre-telecast. And now you have two keywords here, that is pre-publication and pre-telecast. So the Supreme Court is making it very clear that it looks into the matter of pre-publication and pre-telecast very consciously, because if anything does or anything takes place in such a way that it is extreme recourse, that means it might affect the entire judiciary itself. That is why they say that we do not do it easily. For what? For banning of pre-telecast and pre-publication. But Supreme Court makes it very clear that they have been taken into consideration few of the issues to ban in regards to the pre-telecast and pre-publication. They are child sexual abuse cases, gender violence cases, or the matrimonial cases and personal relationship cases. So definitely there can be pre-telecast ban. They have taken in the past issues like child sexual abuse, gender violence, matrimonial and personal relationship. But in regards to this, they are still trying to have a very conscious approach in regards to the pre-publication, pre-telecast ban of the TV channel. And then the court is also making it very clear that the media regulatory bodies, so this is a keyword again, the media regulatory bodies such as News Broadcasters Association. News Broadcasters Association is toothless. That means it is having, or it is not empowered. It doesn't have much of power. That is why the Supreme Court is now asking the government and the media regulators. The Supreme Court is asking the government and the media regulator to suggest various measures to strengthen the media regulation. And this is another key phrase which will be very, very useful for prelims as well as mains examinations. So what are the measures to be taken up to strengthen the media self-regulations is very important, so that they protect the dignity of the minorities or the humans itself or humanity itself, so that there would be a strengthening of media self-regulations. So the media regulators and the government and then strengthen media self-regulations are the keywords, and this is very, very useful information for prelims as well as mains examinations, because we are definitely into pre-telecast ban, pre-publication ban, and there is necessary that there should be strengthening the media self-regulation. Okay, I would say before I get into the next topic, I would say Sai Kumar, Shivamurthy, Ramya, IS, a warm welcome. Very good morning to you all to AKS IAS Academy Daily News Analysis. And IS says, sir, please Telugu, please say it in Telugu. I'm extremely sorry, I cannot explain in Telugu, but I will definitely try to use normal words and I will be little slow. And there is another news which is in regards to the Rajsabha passes bill to slash salaries. So we have seen that the Union Cabinet has taken a decision during the month of March and April in regards to suspending the MPLATs and then to slash the salaries of MPs So they have decided that, and that bill has been passed. That bill has been passed in the Rajsabha. So to reduce the salaries of parliamentarians by how much? 30%, and MPLATs to be suspended for. It is not still decided. It is as of now until further notice. But in regards to the salaries to be reduced, it is for 1 year. 1 year. Why? To meet the exigencies which have been arised due because of the COVID-19 pandemic situation that has been cleared in the Rajsabha. And you know that Lok Sabha has passed the Salary Allowances and Pension of Members Parliament Amendment Bill 2020. This is the complete bill. It is Salaries, Allowances and Pensions of Member of Parliaments Amendment Bill 2020. Has been passed in the Lok Sabha just a week ago, and this bill which was passed, that is Salaries, Allowances and Pensions of Members Parliament Amendment Bill 2020, it replaces the Salary, Allowance and Pensions of Members Bill Amendment Ordinance 2020, because in the month of April, as I said, March, April, the cabinet has cleared or has come up with the ordinance, and now that ordinance is being replaced by the bill of the bill which has been passed in September second week of 2020 in Lok Sabha, and the bill is also passed in the Rajsabha also. And apart from that, the news is that an MP from the Maharashtra called as Rajiv Satav has pointed that definitely by suspending the MP Lads fund, the government will save 8,000 crore or close to 9,000 crores the government will be saving. But he is making, or is pointing that the government is to spend on the developmental project, that is Central Vista redevelopment project of the parliament. So he is trying to criticize that when the government is going ahead with cutting the salaries 30% for 1 year of the MPs and suspending the MP lads and then having 9,000 crores, but in turn the government is spending 20,000 crores for the Central Vista redevelopmental project. Why? We will focus because we have some information even for prelims point of view, and he has made a statement that there is no need for Indian Parliament to be demolished and then go ahead with the construction of the new Parliament, because Indian Parliament is less than 100 years old. It is just less than 100 years old. But when you look at the parliaments across the world, they are older than the Indian Parliament. They are much older than the Indian Parliament. For example, Dutch or Netherlands Parliament building was built in 13th century. Italian Parliament in the 16th century, French Parliament in 17th century, US Senate in 1800s, British Parliament in 1840. So he is trying to refer, and from this we can take this information which will be useful for prelims UPSC perspective, because there could be a question on the parliaments in India, in the world, extremely sorry, comparing with the parliament in or Indian Parliament. Here when I am saying comparing, it is in regards to the number of years, construction. Or if not for the UPSC point of view, it is good that you also have some kind of information which can be asked in various other competitive exams also. Prithviraj has also joined. A warm welcome to you, Prithviraj. And now we will focus on another issue which is in regards to the country of origin. So this is a keyword here, country of origin. This keyword we have discussed almost 3 weeks or close to 1 month we have discussed, when India has banned Chinese imports. And not only that, India has said that we are very particular about country of origin. That means the Chinese goods, they have banned the Chinese goods which are getting into India, not only from China, from various other countries. That means the Chinese products will get into X country, Y country or Z country, and from there it will get in, or it will be imported into India. So it will be actually the product which is importing or which is entering into India from X, Y, Z. But actually the origin of the product is the China. So that is what is important. So here the government is very much focused about the country of origin. Just a minute. So as the country, as India is really concerned about the country of origin, so definitely it is going ahead with making sure that the importers should take all the responsibility. Just I would request everyone to be live, because just a moment, please be on, be live itself. Extremely sorry for the technical problem, technical glitch. Back again. So the Finance Ministry has made it very clear that Finance Ministry has made it very clear about the country of origin, that the importers should have a due diligence. That means they have to be very vigilant about the goods which are imported into India, and they should prescribe, they should have a rules of origin. That means the way the product is been manufactured or it is produced, that has to be met. The goods which are getting into India should meet the prescribed rules of origin, so that they can avail, here is the keyword, so that they can avail the concessional rates of custom duty. So they can avail the concessional rate of custom duty. Why? Because you have something called as free trade agreement. On the basis of the free trade agreement, there are definitely the concessional rates of custom duties with the countries which India has the FTA, the free trade agreement with various other countries. So when then in that scenario, when the goods are being imported, it should meet the rules of origin provisions. It should meet the provisions of rules of origin. So not only that, the customs administration of rules and origin under trade agreement rules 2020. This is the key phrase. Karotar, or you can just say customs administration of rules of origin under trade rules 2020 is notified, and it will come into force on September 21st. That is another couple of days from today. The Karotar 2020 or Customs Administration of Rules and Origin under Trade Agreement Rules will come into existence. And once it comes into existence, the importer should enter the origin of the goods which have been the country of the origin from where it is coming in the information, that is in the bill of entry. It should have that entire information. It should enter the information about the country of origin which is available in the certificate of origin. Why? Because the finance minister is making it very clear, and this is the keyword again which you need to focus, because we have the free trade agreement. One is the country of origin and the free trade agreement, and now we are talking about the ASEAN free trade agreement also. So it is the ASEAN free trade agreement. When we have this ASEAN free trade agreement, and this agreement, it allows the imports of most items from the 10 nations, almost they are nil, or they have some kind of concessional base of custom duties, or basic custom duty have been relieved, or they have concession from the ASEAN countries wherein the goods have been imported. So why the Finance Ministry has made it very clear about the customs administration of rules of origin under Trade Agreement Rules 2020, because it will be into force from September 21. Today is, another couple of days it will be, and there it is talking about the goods which have been imported from ASEAN countries because of the ASEAN Free Trade Agreement, and that is important. And out of the 10 nation blocks, major imports in India are from the 5 ASEAN countries, that is Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, Singapore and Vietnam. So you have ASEAN countries, it's a block which you have Indonesia, you have Laos, Vietnam, Brunei, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Cambodia, Philippines and Myanmar. So you have 10 nations, and India gets from this 10 nations, the most is from the I nation. That is the imports what India imports of goods from ASEAN is from the 5 ASEAN countries, which we have the ASEAN Free Trade Agreement. So that we have to be very clear. The importers have to be very clear in regards to having that certificate of origin. This means the originating from China, should not be routed to any other countries of the ASEAN, and from there it is entering into India, as I explained earlier. So these new rules will support the importer to correctly ascertain from where the products are being, or the origin of the particular product, which country, and they can also properly claim the concessional duty, and also they can assist the customs authorities. They can also assist the customs authorities so that the legitimate imports through the FTAs are getting into India. And this, if we look at focusing on the whether it is legitimate imports which are happening through the free trade, or trying to also protect the domestic industry, that is Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, the finance minister has made a statement in the budget speech itself to what? To protect the domestic industries from misuse of free trade agreement. So we have the ASEAN free trade agreement, we have lived into country of origin, and the importers only should have the entire risk of entering the origin, and then they should have the certificate of origin. So if you look at you have the recipe here, regional comprehensive economic partnership, we have the trans-Pacific partnership countries, 12 countries, and here again the 13 countries here. So this is again very important from economy point of view for prelims as well as mains conceptual understanding. And you have another news which talks about drone insurance must be on lines with aviation liability. So a working group in regards to the insurance regulator, that is Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India. We did have a news in regards to the IRDAI, which has come up with the recommendations. Yesterday we did talk about, and now we are talking about a working group of insurance regulatory, that is IRDAI, has highlighted the need to extend the insurance coverage to whom? To the drones. This is the keyword. So here we are talking about, yesterday we were talking about the employees, insurance to the employees. We are talking about the health insurance and then life insurance. Yesterday we were talking about the employees because of the national lockdown or COVID-19 pandemic situation. But here it is in regards to the insurance coverage for drones. And who is talking about it? The IRDAI is talking about a comprehensive insurance coverage for drones. And this working group is called as Remotely Piloted Aircraft System Drone Technology. Has come up with a report which is talking about that definitely there is a risk in the drones coverage, because now the market in regards to the drones will develop because of the COVID-19 pandemic situation, or with the new kind of technology coming up in India in regards to the delivery system. There would be certainly a various risk profile which would come up, which would develop in the market in regards to the drones. And because of that, the working group has definitely looked at various concepts or various aspects of the drones that are focused on the technology, they are focused on the operation, market and international practices of the drones. And once they have looked into various aspects, now the IRDAI, that is Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India, is differing with the draft which was drafted in the Unmanned Aircraft System Rules 2020. This is a keyword. So you have a draft rules in 2020 which is regards to unmanned aircraft system rules 2020, which has been notified by which ministry? By Civil Aviation Ministry, and the issue is about third party compensation. So the draft which was notified by the Civil Aviation Ministry in regards to the compensation, there the Civil Aviation Ministry in the draft that is pertaining to the Unmanned Aircraft System UAS Rules 2020, it has made it very clear the compensation for the drones would be the third party compensation, and that is what the IRDAI is differing with civil aviation, that it should not be a third party. It should not be a third party. And the draft rules suggest that, which draft rules? We are talking about the unmanned Unmanned Aircraft System Rules 2020. Unmanned Aircraft System Rules, UAS Rules 2020. We are talking about it. It suggests that the compensation should be in lines with the Motor Vehicle Act, and this is another keyword. So we have come up with the Unmanned Aerial System Rules 2020, Civil Aviation Ministry, IRDAI keyword, and now motor vehicle. So as per the draft rules, it says that the compensation should be in lines with the motor vehicle, and the IRDAI, after studying or inspecting various factors, they say that this kind of compensation is not in line with the international practices in regards to the insurance for the drones. So it is not in practice with the international practices. And the draft or the report also, the report says that creating a Solatium fund. What do you mean by Solatium? That is compensation fund, which is similar to the motor vehicle in regards to the hit and crash of drones, which will be equal to the motor vehicles, that is in regards to the vehicles which have been hit or which have been accidental cases in regards to motor, is not really attuned, or it is not equivalent, and it is not unthinkable to the drones in regards to the insurance. That is what the report is talking about. The creating a Solatium fund is not, or to the drones, is unthinkable, because it says that in the international markets, the insurance options for drones under civil aviation of business is not in traditional lines with the recommended third party. As so, in the international markets, for the insurance options for the drones is not as per the third party, but it is in line with the aircraft aviation liability. So it should not be part of the third party, but it should be liable in regards to the aircraft or civil aviation. So this is the IRDA. So please do understand, here we are talking about drones. So there could be a question in the prelims as well as mains in regards to the information technology in Indian economy. Usage of information technology in Indian economy. So there you will have a clear idea about what is compensation to the drones, and it should, what the IRDA is talking about, the draft of the Unmanned Aerial System 2020 rules, that they have been placed the compensation as per the third party, but as per the international markets, it is not third party, but it should be liability insurance in line with the aircraft or aviation liability, and it should not be on the lines of Motor Vehicle Act. So you have a very solid information for the preliminary and mains examination point of view pertaining to the insurance of drones. And Satyasri have joined. A warm welcome to you, Satyasri, and Azmat Khan also. A very good morning and a warm welcome to AKS IAS Daily News Analysis. And now we will just recap the daily news analysis what we have taken up. So we have looked at the reason for face off between India and China along the LAC, and we have also focused at various patrolling points, total 65 from Karakoram to Chumur. And here we did talk about journalistic freedom and then dignity of humans. Here when we are talking about, we did discuss about the MPLATs and also the salaries of MPs, and then also we have focused at the parliament buildings of India and others in the world. And the country of origin, this is again very important for economy point of view. Here we did focus about ASEAN Free Trade Agreement. Not only that, protecting the domestic industry. And then drones, again we did discuss about IRDAI, which is wanting the insurance of drones as per the civil aviation liability, but not as per the third party in regards to the Motor Vehicle Act, as per the Motor Vehicle Act. So definitely I hope this session was very helpful and informative both for prelims as well as mains examinations. And then I would say a very big thank you and a good luck to you all. And then do like the video, share the video and subscribe the video of Advanced Knowledge System, and also visit the AKS IAS website, and then do subscribe the Telegram link of AKS IAS Academy. And then I would see you again tomorrow. Extremely sorry. I would see you on Monday for the daily news analysis. So thank you very much. See you on Monday.